You also wrote the screenplay and directed it. Anywhere that you film, anywhere in the world, those are 3 primary roles. You decided to take all of them on. Why?
Well, I think I tend to believe in myself. I don't know. Maybe I was born to believe in myself rather than in others. That's why I like to complete my work on my own.
你干嘛跟着我？
没有啊。
没有，那再见喽。
哎，有了，想问你，你今天弹那首曲子是什么名字啊？还蛮好听的。
这是不能说的秘密。
Once I understand how something works, I'll want to do it myself, like the scores in my movie. And you know, the whole story was based on concepts I had in my mind. So of course I knew the screenplay very well, and naturally, it would be truer to my style if I could also direct the film. Another reason is that I'm getting older now. I want to play a student, convincingly, when I still have the chance, because it'll be too late to do so after a few more years. So I just like to do everything on my own.
You obviously like to be in the driver's seat on your projects. Is it fair to call you a control freak?
I do think I was born to be sort of a control freak, because I always command people to do this and that. And because I don't have brothers and sisters. So I just want to be sort of an elder brother. Like in this industry, I tried to nurture many newcomers, because I want to feel like we're family. It's really hard on my music.
So actually being an only child and being brought up by just one parent worked for you?
Perhaps it's not so good for my mother, but it's good for me.
You started playing the piano at a very early age, about 3 years old. You did have to adhere to a very strict practice schedule, didn't you? And I also read that there were plenty of times where you wanted to just give it up. Why didn't you?
During that time, I was actually under immense pressure. When I saw other kids playing, I felt it was so unfair to me. But then every time I thought about how much money my mother had spent on the piano, I really didn't want to disappoint her. That's why there were a number of times I was really about to give up. But then I just sucked it up and told myself that one day all my hard work would pay off.
Did you have to practice?
When I was a kid, I practiced 2 to 3 hours a day.
Every day?
Yes, when I was small, every day. But then it's only when I was small. I stopped practicing after I started releasing my albums.
School and academia were just not your things at all. What was that time in your life like?
I'd say I wasn't an attention-seeking person back in high school, so I got along pretty well with my classmates. Actually, I miss my old school days so much that I decided to make a movie about it. I think campus life is just beautiful.
Your break eventually came at a talent show. Not that you impressed the judges. What happened on that day?
I think there are a lot of talent shows on Taiwan TV. It's not very difficult to stand out. But then 8 years ago, no, maybe 10 years ago, I wasn't the one applying for the show as a contestant. My classmates applied for me. Because, you know, everybody knew I was really into songwriting. So I was like, oh, okay, let's give it a try. But I didn't do it for the sake of getting famous. I never felt comfortable with all this attention ever since I started out in this industry. Because I said I never want to aim to be a pop icon or whatever. My first album was actually a collection of songs that I wrote for other people. And they didn't want those songs. So I sort of recollected them, remixed them, and recorded them on my own. The only aim I had was to be a singer-songwriter, not an idol, because I'm not very good looking. So I think it's luck that brought me out of obscurity. It's the timing, the place, and the people that allowed me to take a step forward.
了层层工具，眼前乌蒙蒙一片狼性，为你也没把眼睛给擦干净，我来走下去，至少可会陪你前进。我常常在想，地球只有一个太阳，为什么我的影子这么多，这么像？
Jay, you're a wealthy single guy, yet you still live at home with your mum. How come? Doesn't the bachelor life appeal to you, having your own space?
从小就看父母亲离婚嘛。
I don't think I'll move out. My parents divorced when I was a kid, and I made up my mind that even if I get married someday, I'll still live with my mom, so that I can take care of her, keep her company. I've been having this thought for many years. No matter what happens in the future, I'll live with my mom.
You're kidding.
对，因为我觉得
Yeah, perhaps there's some cultural differences between Chinese and Western people. The Western kids grow up to break away from their families, to become totally independent and make their own lives. But I think Chinese people are very different. We value our roots a lot. No matter how much money you make outside, you still have to go home because we have this duty, this responsibility to take care of our parents. This is the difference I see, at least from what I know.
好像课本上面是这样说的。
If you had to name the moment in your career which is your proudest, whether it's music or movies, anything to do with that, what would it be?
最成功的其实分蛮多阶段的，就是
The proudest moment? Well, I've had that in a lot of stages. Like after my first concert, I